like to talk to you from my heart so that, we get into a program mode and we have, which is probably part of our culture, how we do things. So I'm here to shock you and say things that will upset you or at least make you think. But I'm so grateful just listening to where you are from, hearing your names, just to meet you in person. But the greatest thing that I want you to catch, because I can't teach you anything. If I teach you something, you will just learn it in your head. As Kailash said, I think one of the things that I want you to learn is to focus on silence. We are so used to noise. Noise is part of our normal life. And we expect noise. When we stand in a platform like that, we expect noise. And we've learned to create an image of ourselves. And we think that is our true self. But in this journey, we want to begin by learning how to become aware of God's presence. You should be experiencing His presence right now. It's always a gentle whisper. It's not in the thunder or lightning as Elijah stood on the mountain. Because God speaks from here. Out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water. So you can relax. The more you relax, your body will settle. Otherwise, normally our bodies are tight like this. And the more you learn to breathe deeply, your muscles will also relax. So you're going to look at Christ in a new way. Jesus Christ. He did not have a false self. He had a true self. And this journey is about taking away the false projected self and bringing it closer to the true self. So you should be at home right now. Are you at home? Your body is your home. It's supposed to be the temple. If God is not here, He's nowhere. You're just playing the game of religion. 25 years I played that game. I will not play that game anymore. I'm tired of Christianity as a religion. Pastors standing here and whipping the congregation. Come on, come on, come on. That's the false self that's trying to project. Who are we fooling? My hero, Ravi Zacharias, who, grew up in Chennai and did great apologetics, stood in platforms of the world and debated and won many debates against atheists. But his soul was decaying inside. Lies after. He was living a lie. He was not speaking lies, he was living a lie. Some of us are living a lie. I was for 25 years, I was living a lie. Of course, God's presence was always there when I speak. I could preach well. But I became so tired of hearing my own voice sometimes. So, in Tamil they say, Manishan in Sattam Kettu Salithu Poirukrom. Get tired after hearing man's voice, especially when it's your voice. You look at that baby, that child is fully present. It's not thinking, Mommy, I don't like your hair. I don't like what you're wearing. It's not thinking, it's just being present. Yeah. Yes, sweetheart, you are. But we think a lot. We think because we think ourselves to create. We are creating an image. It's not the image of God, it's something else. Before coming to Christ, we were creating something. After coming to Christ, a Christian spin. So I was doing the same thing as a pastor, I was in the business field before, marketing, agrochemicals, fertilizers in Idiki. That's where I began. I wanted to become rich. I wanted to become famous because that's what my mother said. Son, you got to be somebody. You got to be somebody. You got to be somebody, otherwise you'll amount for nothing. That's the voice we all hear. Look at your uncle. You got to become like that, a doctor. So I was groomed to be a doctor. Never happened. But I did my doctorate to get my mother's approval. I didn't realize that. Now I realize that. It's nobody's fault. So don't blame yourself. Please don't blame your parents. It's part of the culture. Imagine 2.4 billion people. I got to be somebody among this masses of people. I got to be somebody. Look at me, please look at me. But God is already seeing you. He's seeing you. He sees the true self inside of you. And He knows the game we are playing. He knows the projected false you and me. But He still loves you. He doesn't condemn. And that's what He's trying to redeem us. Salvation means redeeming us to our true self, the way God made that little child. Right now, the child is what you see is what the child is. That child is not putting on anything. It's the real person. After 5-10 years, another person will come. That's mommy and daddy will make them. And you live in this body with two people. Yes, two. But we got to be one. You got to get used to silence. The more you get used to silence, you really will learn so much. When the deep calls to deep, the roar of waterfalls and breakers are above. Then, in the day, His love will lead you. So you got to learn to go to the deep places. And the deep place is not here. It's not in the head, it's in the heart. So you got to silence this thing. What Paul said, I speak in tongues so that my mind may be unfruitful, so that my spirit can connect with the Holy Spirit, and things in my subconscious mind that is producing so much of anxiety and worry. That's what we do. All the fears, all the things, your hurts, your bullying, when you're a little child, people bully you. Those are hurts that you carry in your subconscious mind here. Doesn't mean it's here, but it's subconscious. It's not in your consciousness. But you react during your adult life from that subconscious hurts, wounds of the soul. Because your soul is wounded. Even your mother's voice can be a wound. Like my mother used to say, you will amount to nothing if you don't, whatever. So God is trying to redeem that false self, the wounded self. So we'll talk about the false self that comes out of the wounded self that Christ is trying to redeem. It's not accepting Jesus and, reading the Bible. And you got to read the Bible, but you got to be alive to read the Bible. You got to come alive. You got to be able to experience Him. To experience Him, your thinking has to stop a little bit. Because when you think, you go out of the body. So you're pretending to be here, but you're not here. Or you can be thinking about tomorrow's engagement or some meeting you have. Immediately you've left the body. We don't think about these things. It's important to think about these things because the person has to be whole. Whether you are with God or whether with your wife, you got to be the person who is right there. This is why we have gravity. God created us to be here. If we were in moon, we would be flying because we can't ground ourselves. But our being is grounded on earth for a reason. So that our mind also can stay within the body. That's called integrity of the soul.